All right, welcome. Today, we're diving into Google's Gemma 4. But we're not just looking at it as another new AI model. Nope. We're going to break it down as a strategic tool for the enterprise. This is all about how you can build your very own AI fortress, giving you total control over your most valuable asset, your data.
So let's get right to the heart of it, because this is the core dilemma that pretty much every CIO and tech leader is grappling with right now. You see all the incredible potential of AI, but the idea of sending your sensitive customer data, your proprietary code, or your financial records to some third-party API, that's a non-starter for most. So how do you get all that power without taking on all that risk?
For years, the standard model has been to use these closed third-party APIs. And what that usually means is your data gets processed on someone else's servers. That creates all sorts of potential privacy risks, not to mention vendor lock-in. But Gemma 4, this represents a fundamental shift. It's an open weight model. And what that means is you download the model weights and you run it entirely on your own infrastructure. Your data never, ever leaves your environment. And that one difference, well, it changes absolutely everything when it comes to compliance and control.
So the solution here, the thing you really need to grasp, is that Gemma 4 is built on this open revolution. This isn't just about getting access to powerful AI. It's about owning the process. Its strength really comes from two key pillars of control. It's an open weight model you can run anywhere, and it's governed by a truly open source license.
And that second pillar, the license, is absolutely crucial. Gemma 4 uses the Apache 2.0 license. Now, this isn't some custom license with a bunch of hidden clauses you have to worry about. It's a standard, globally recognized license that your legal team probably already has on their pre-approved list. It just removes all that legal ambiguity that so often stalls big enterprise AI projects.
And this is where it gets really good for your business. With Apache 2.0, you have unrestricted commercial use. You can build these optimized fine-tuning workflows on your own proprietary data to create a real competitive advantage. A durable AI moat. You can embed it directly into your own software and sell it without paying a dime in royalties. There's no risk of your access being terminated, and there are no viral clauses that could contaminate your other projects. This is just pure freedom to innovate securely.
Okay, so let's move on to the toolkit itself. Gemma 4 isn't just one single model, it's a whole family of models, and they've been meticulously designed for different enterprise needs, from tiny little edge devices all the way up to massive cloud data centers.
This table really breaks it down perfectly. You can see the efficiency gains you get for specific enterprise tasks. So, you've got the smaller E-series models that can run completely offline on less than 1.5 gigs of RAM, perfect for on-device processing. Then you have the 26B Mixture of Experts model, which is optimized for super-fast inference on workstations. And finally, the 31B Dense model. That's your powerhouse for the really complex reasoning you do in the cloud. You get to pick the right tool for the job.
So you've got the right model. But how do you actually deploy it to maintain that AI fortress we were talking about? Let's walk through the blueprint for achieving total data sovereignty.
You really have a whole spectrum of control here. You can start with Vertex AI to easily deploy a managed, private endpoint and get all those optimized training workflows right inside your Google Cloud project. For more granular control, you can use Google Kubernetes Engine, or GKE, to integrate Gemma into your existing microservices. And for those environments where keeping strict data boundaries is absolutely non-negotiable, you can use Sovereign Cloud for a fully air-gapped deployment on-prem, where your data cannot, under any circumstances, touch the public internet.
Now, for those of you building the next generation of AI agents, there's a particularly powerful GKE native isolation strategy you need to know about. It's called the new GKE Agent Sandbox, and it is designed specifically to execute those complex multi-step AI tasks securely.
The benefits here for enterprise apps are just huge. You can safely let an AI agent execute tool calls, like, running some code or accessing an API, all inside a highly isolated environment. And the performance? We're talking sub-second cold starts and the ability to scale up to 300 sandboxes per second. That means you can scale your inference workloads for these agents with incredibly low latency, all without compromising on security. Okay, so that's the blueprint, but let's look at the proof. How are industries already using this approach to process their most sensitive data and build out their own AI fortresses? First up, let's talk about an industry where data privacy isn't just a preference, it's the law: healthcare. Teams are using a specialized version called MedGemma to do some incredible work. It can analyze a patient's X-ray directly on a local device. It can parse private health data and then, only if needed, send an anonymized request to another service. The most important part here is that protected health information, PHI, never leaves that secure local environment. It satisfies strict HIPAA requirements right out of the box.
Now, let's switch gears to a use case that's critical for pretty much every tech company out there: secure and private code generation.
With Code Gemma, your developers get powerful AI assistance right inside their local code editor. It can give them intelligent code completion and even generate entire functions from a simple natural language prompt. But because it runs locally, your company's proprietary source code, your core intellectual property, never gets sent to an external server. So productivity goes way up and your risk stays at zero.
And finally, let's look at highly regulated industries like finance and legal, which, as you know, are built on a foundation of confidential documents.
Gemma 4's huge 256,000 token context window means it can analyze an entire long contract or a dense case file in a single pass. When you deploy it on premises, it can audit these documents for risks or analyze sensitive M&A data. And by keeping all that processing inside the company's own infrastructure, it ensures you have full compliance with critical data residency laws like GDPR.
So let's bring this all together. What's the key takeaway for you as a CIO or as a technology leader? What is the real strategic advantage here?
You know, this quote from Cooley Peak just sums it up perfectly. When data sovereignty is a requirement, and let's be honest, for most enterprises it is, Gemma 4 becomes that AI layer that makes secure processing possible. It's really the go-to solution for any data-sensitive client. Ultimately, this is the core message. Gemma 4 moves you from just being a consumer of third-party AI services to being the owner of your own AI capabilities. You get complete control over your data, your infrastructure, and your models. You're no longer dependent on someone else. You are in command.
And that leads us to the final and most critical question. The barriers of security, compliance, and control, they've been removed. The tools are right there in your hands. So now that you control the AI, what will you build?